Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Celluloid Nation. Once again, I'm joined with my good friend and my wonderful co-host.
Thank you for having me. My name is Matt Roller, aka Rambo Rat for Life, and once again, thanks, Mike, to having me be a part of this.
Anytime. It's definitely not the same show without this guy over here. So we're going to start out with just right off the bang, like just right off the bat with some movie news that Matt tweeted. He didn't tweet me because we don't do Twitter. He sent this to me through the Facebook Messenger app. Well, not really the Facebook Messenger app, but Messenger. And apparently that movie Ex-Baghdad you heard about now has an X star.
Yes, for those last year, there was news of a Sylvester Stallone Jackie Chan team up called Ex-Baghdad. It was going about an oil refinery that gets taken over in Iraq, and then Jackie Chan has to team up with an American Marine that was supposed to be played by Sylvester Stallone, and they both go in and fight and defeat the bad guys, and who knows, maybe a little bit like Die Hard, I don't know. And no, Stallone's not doing it. John fucking asshole Cena, fucking dirtbag wannabe Marine. He's not a Marine. He's not a real Marine. He's a fucking
he was
queen.
So great in that direct-to-video movie, right, where he played a military guy. Wasn't that the one with like the mines or something like that, or that was a different one? I think. No, it was the one with the sniper. There was like a sniper, and there was like these two soldiers in the desert or something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So that's my guess is why they cast him, because they're like, oh, he already played a soldier in that movie, so.
And he was in that movie Blockers. He's going to be in the upcoming Transformers spinoff.
Yeah, Bumblebee,
Buttfuck, whatever. And now, of course, we know why Stallone's not doing it, because he's got to do fucking Rambo 5 or Expendables 4 or Creed 2 or Fuck You or whatever the hell he's doing. I don't give a fuck about Expendables 4. No one gives a fuck about Expendables 4. Fuck Expendables. Rambo 5 we don't need, because Rambo 4 ended it perfectly. Fuck Creed 2.
It was called The Wall.
Creed can knock himself the fuck out for all I care. Well, John Cena is a fucking wall. That's how much fucking acting talent he is. And I'm pissed at Stallone because, like, this is a cool project that could have the potential to be cool.
Yeah.
And no, instead you're going to go back to Expendables 4, which no one cares about.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like, or why? I love Stallone. I always love him. I always respect him. I don't fucking get it. Like all this. So you're busy doing Escape Plan 2 and 3, these direct-to-video bullshit movies, but not to do what potentially a bigger budgeted action film finally with Jackie Chan, which I would be very intrigued by.
Well, so would I.
No, let's do Escape Plan 2 and 3 back to back. And fucking
that one I don't get.
4 that no one gives a shit about.
An Escape Plan trilogy, and both sequels are going to be direct to video. I mean, I talked about this before. I think it might be he's tight for cash or something. I don't know. I don't know why, but
well, this is a paycheck too. But
yeah,
come on, folks, you tell me what would be a better movie? Him and Jackie Chan finally getting together, which they've been friends since forever, or spend a fucking 4.
I would say Jackie Chan
or Creed 2
doing an Ex-Baghdad. That sounds better to me than Expendables 4. Or
and Stallone
Creed
playing
2.
an American Marine? That'd be cool. I don't know if he's ever played a Marine.
Well, he played soldiers before, but not a Marine.
Has he?
Well, think about it. Wasn't he a soldier in The Specialist?
Yeah, he had the fatigues on at the beginning. He had the, well, maybe it's not called fatigues, but he had the camouflage on.
Yeah.
But so you don't do this. It's I don't understand his decision making. And then, of all the people to cast with Jackie Chan, you could cast Jean-Claude Van
Yeah.
Damme, Thomas Jane, like, all
Give
these
Dolph
other
some
potential people you could cast,
work.
and you get
Yeah.
the Dolph Man,
Yeah.
Jeff Speakman. That'd be cool. Like, give him a chance, a second
Michael
chance. What's
Dudikoff.
wrong with second chance? Give just
Even Michael Dudikoff
Michael
is better
Dudikoff.
than John Cena.
I definitely
Hell, I'll
Michael
even
Dudikoff.
take
That'd be
Oliver
interesting.
Gruner. I'll
There's
take
some,
Olivier Gruner.
yeah. Give some people a second chance, like you said, Dudikoff, Gruner, Jess Speakman, or someone like Thomas Jane, or
Yeah.
instead of doing whether he's playing a dad in some
Carl
fucking
Urban.
movie. Carl Urban would be good.
Yeah.
He's wasted on shitty movies like Hangman with Al Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
Give him fucking better opportunities. There's a lot of people to choose. We're naming them. Both newer faces and older faces. But
John Cena is going to be the next Dwayne Johnson, wrestler turned movie
but he
star.
can't act. But he has no charisma. He sucks at wrestling. He gets booed at wrestling.
Yeah.
Let alone booed in cinemas. Blockers, his movie, it's about his fucking career. People should block him.
Yeah, but I heard so many good things about that, Matt. You got to give that a chance. Like, it's actually good, but I doubt it. I doubt that's the case.
You should give shit. I'm sure people say you should give shit a chance. It doesn't mean I want to eat it.
Yeah.
And John Cena is shit.
I agree. John Cena as Duke Nukem, that's another fucking problem to me.
That's like having a fucking comedy and you go from the prime Jim Carrey to Carrot Top.
Ooh.
Sorry, Jim Carrey can't do that when we got fucking Carrot Top.
Ow.
That's who John Cena is. John Cena is the Carrot Top of action guys.
Savage. Just straight up savage.
Fucking John Queen.
I don't disagree. I really don't. I don't disagree. That's for sure. Speaking of action movies,
and it pisses me off. Sorry, it pisses me off because Stallone has had a bad track record for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, the last film I liked was in 2010, The Expendables. This is like the one potential movie that sounds intriguing, and it's the one movie that he says no to, instead of saying no to 2 direct-to-video estate plan movies. Yeah, let's say no to a co-star with Jackie Chan to do shitty estate plan, or a fucking Expendables 4 that no one wants.
I don't understand Stallone's thought process. I don't get it. And I know he's a very intelligent man, but it's just it's puzzling to me. It's and if it is financially related, then I don't know why he turned this particular role down. Because I'm pretty sure the paycheck would be higher for this film, because this actually might get a theatrical release. I mean,
like
Marky Mark and his Funky Bunch can still get theatrical releases for his generic, forgettable-looking action movies like Mile 22. I don't see why Stallone and Jackie Chan can't get a release. But maybe the producers, maybe they're the ones that pushed it. Maybe they were like, maybe it's an sort of, remember with Bullet to the Head? The original was Carl Urban, right? Thomas Jane. Thomas Jane was pushed out, and then you've had Han put in there.
No, because he's saying no because he's going to do fucking Rambo 5 and Expendables 4.
Yeah.
After Creed 2.
It's
because he's got to go back to franchises.
Yeah, and it's not like before where it was like his career was like in the toilet, like So he had to. So going back to those is actually a good idea, and also when he did that, he also did it because he wanted to fix the ills of those franchises. Make things end on a higher note with Rocky Balboa and with Rambo. But this just screams, I guess, go with what you know. I don't know. He doesn't want to take any chances. It's like
Play it
Arnold with
safe.
Terminator films and like the potential Conan movie. I'd rather see him do something different. I mean, hell, at this point, I'd rather even see him do a straight up drama again, like Copland, or just retire. Like, I'm tired of seeing Stallone attached to projects that are just like old hats or nothing I'm really that interested in. And then when he's attached to something that I'm curious about, then he drops out, and then, you know.
Like Hunter.
Yep.
He was going to do Hunter. Nope. And then he dropped out of that. Like all these interesting, and then he drops those for shit.
Yep.
Like fucking
Grudge
bullet
Match.
to the head. Yeah, we did your Grudge Match comedy, but not a Jackie Chan Stallone action
where
movie.
Stallone looks that's to me personally, Matt, that is the worst Stallone performance, because you can tell he does not fucking care. I think he might have been also depressed. I think that might have been another thing too, because he might have taken that right after his son's death. So he took that role to try to get his mind off of things, you know, like what Liam Neeson would do for the longest time because of what happened to his wife. But speaking of action stars and wrestlers who wrestlers turn to action stars, let's talk about Skyscraper, the second trailer, aka the entire fucking movie. The CGI, the motion picture.
Yeah.
Skyscraper? More like green screen.
I mean, I
really? Just call it green screen. Let's just be honest here.
Green Scraper. I mean, for those who don't know, I did a video this recently.
You did a great job.
About this second trailer. Thank you. And also about the current state of action films, which sucks because it seems like even though the budgets are higher, the movies look cheaper. And just this
it seems like the
cartoon
lower budget
CGI
ones
bullshit
are the ones that actually look better. Like Hotel Artemis, the upcoming Upgrade, the upcoming Peppermint, which I'm not really a fan of the title because it's like Peppermint Patty. What? Man, Peppermint Patty's had enough of those damn peanuts. She's gonna get her revenge.
The John Wick movies look a lot better compared to Skyscraper, and those
or the Raid films.
Budgets combined, or the Raid Redemption
or Dread. Dread didn't cost that much to make, or hell, even the first Deadpool looks better than Skyscraper. Well, definitely the second one. We're getting to the point where an action superhero, not really superhero, but an action comic book comedy in Deadpool 2 is a better action movie than action films. That's not good.
But yeah, and then that trailer, they showed the whole movie. They showed the beginning of the film, him losing his leg. They show how he meets Dev Campbell. They show years later he's with his kids and wife. They show he has a new job. They show
how he gets hurt.
They show they show how he gets in the building and he makes it. They show that he's hanging from his leg and he makes it. They show like everything, and
CGI
it looks boring
fire,
as hell.
CGI skyscraper, CGI background. It's like Rampage, where most of it's just CGI. I mean, but this is like to like the utmost degree. It's to the point where I agree with you. It's almost like a parody. It is. Like, you could put this on SNL and be like, oh, it's an SNL parody trailer. But no, like, this is an actual fucking trailer for an actual movie. I'm surprised they didn't use some slow-mo version of some popular song. Maybe they did. Because I know they seem to do that constantly. Like some old school song and then use a slow-mo version of it. You know, with a piano in the background or something. Like what they did with San Andreas.
Why is it? why is it that a film from the 70s, like The Towering Inferno, looks so much better
Well,
than a
because they
movie in
actually, you know
2018?
what? Because they actually gave a shit, or they had limited resources, so they did the best job that they possibly could with what they had to work with. I've said this before and I'll say it again. CGI has done a lot of cool things, but it's also made it so filmmakers and producers and Hollywood studios with their products and with their productions, they don't have to be as creative as they used to be. They can just be like, we're not gonna do the stunt. We're not gonna do this for real. We'll just do this in a computer. And it's become a crux, and it's become a source, a well of laziness. Really, it's a well of
So
laziness.
it's it's become the ultimate shortcut.
Yes. And it's not necessarily cheaper because
Yeah.
look at the budgets. They're skyrocketing out of control like every year. 200, 300 million dollar productions. It's not really like it's actually cheaper than shooting a down and dirty film in in an actual skyscraper, not something that's looks like I don't even know what that is. Like what the fucking building from Lord of the Rings? Like I expected to see Sauron's eye on top of that fucking thing. I mean, that's not.
It's definitely no. It's definitely no Die Hard, even though it so badly wants to
Yeah.
be Die
I mean,
Hard.
you look at the
But in
skyscraper,
China,
the design, it's like, how is that even practical? Like, who the fuck is going to build a skyscraper like that? It's got like a curly Q.
the guy the guy who built that house in 13 Ghosts.
But yeah, even the elevator,
Maybe him.
like there's a scene, even the elevator is CGI when they fall in the elevator down through the fire, and it's just, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be in the climax. That's how they escape from the skyscraper. Yeah, it's just too
Well,
much
yeah, I mean they
fucking
show the entire movie,
CGI.
and
And I'm with you, and I know it's
it doesn't look
something.
like there's
Sorry, I'm
much
just,
shit to it.
I'm heated
It
up.
doesn't mean. Go for it.
I'm
Go for
heated
it. Keep
up.
going.
I'm heated
I
up.
want to. I want to
So,
hear it.
But I'm totally with you. I agree with you 100% on the idea that too many films nowadays, especially in the action genre, they are over reliant on CGI to the point where it looks like a video game. And I know it's an old argument, but it might as well not be an old argument because year after year it keeps getting worse. So to me, it's a fresh argument. It's not stale. It's fresh. It's as fresh as it possibly could be. And when you watch this trailer, it proves that. It proves that this is still a fresh argument. Or Baywatch. Remember that fucking scene? They couldn't even blow up a boat. They couldn't blow up a boat.
Again with The Rock.
No, they couldn't blow up an actual boat. They had to do that shit behind a green screen. And it was some of the worst CGI I had ever seen in my life.
I remember.
The water wasn't real either. Nothing was real. So, you look at PM Entertainment movies that cost pretty much a nickel and a dime compared to the budgets for these bigger budget action movies, and they got real stunts and explosions and all kinds of stuff. You're telling me we can't do that anymore?
They cost $10 and a bag of cocaine.
Yeah, it's like we can't do that anymore. We got to. Is it because too many audiences, like you said, like have lowered expectations, or they're so used to video game style movies? I think that's part of it. They're so used to it. Like the younger audiences, I'm not speaking for everyone, but a good chunk of it, they're used to playing their games on their Xboxes and their PlayStations and on their computers. And this type of
Or even on their phones.
yeah, or their phones. And this type of filmmaking isn't something that seems like an egregious thing to them. They're like, "Oh, yeah, it's like a video game." It's like so I think some people legitimately like it, and that's scary to me. You like the fact that the movie doesn't look like a movie anymore. It looks like a cutscene from a video game. But the only difference is you have an actor in there. But then that doesn't necessarily mean much either, because in other shots, it's a CGI stunt double of that actor doing whatever.
So really, what's the difference between that and a video game cutscene? They're both CG. I mean, they're both
I blame
computer
fucking
graphics.
Avatar
What's the
for
big
this.
difference?
I really do. I blame Avatar for this boom of just movies just chock full, crammed to the fucking gills with CGI, and a lot of unnecessary CGI, because Avatar was one of the first pioneers of that. And that's a big reason why, if there was, you know, I remember seeing a post on Facebook. Someone was like, "Hey, is there any movies that you wish would never get made?" And then I was like, Avatar, because it started this fucking trend that I'm sick of, and I hate it. Because really, if you watch Avatar, really, that's majority of it's CGI, and there's some live action actors, and that's it. And you see that shit all the time nowadays.
Wasn't Lord of the Rings doing this stuff before? Or...
Yeah, but Lord of the Rings actually used real sets and real makeup and real stuff.
Not anymore
like that.
with those Hobbit movies.
Well, no, not with the Hobbit films, because everything's done, you know, with a green screen. There are some things that they did practically on a set, but not as much stuff as before. But really, it is. It's a crux. It's a crutch.
Fucking Avatar.
So, fucking blame Avatar for this fucking plague of unnecessary CGI and movies that look like video game cutscenes. I mean, even Disney's fallen into this with their live action versions of their animated movies. How could they even call the upcoming Lion King a live action version? It's going to be 100% CGI. Like, what? Oh, there's going to be 5% that's going to be real because they might shoot some footage of an African savanna, and then they're going to throw in some CGI animals? That's not live action.
Well, how was that Jungle Book movie live action?
I don't know.
The one boy?
Yeah, the one boy. Everything else is fucking CGI.
And now someone's making another Jungle Book.
Yeah, Mowgli, which looked just as generic and bland. I'll stick with the underrated, overlooked Stephen Sommers version, thank you very much, that actually used real animals and animatronics.
But it all goes back to Avatar. Good luck finding that movie. You're working theater.
Good luck finding that movie, though, because it's out of print, and Disney apparently doesn't want to release it, and it's fetching prices that are in the stratosphere.
Did not know that. They're probably jealous of it.
But yeah, fuck Avatar. So, Hotel Artemis, saw another trailer
for Skyscraper.
Yeah, fuck Skyscraper too. But Hotel Artemis, it looks like it might be fun, but I don't know. The action in the trailers don't really impress me. The concept, I don't mind, but it doesn't really look like a film I'm going to see in the theater, you know? Check it out down the road.
Maybe a rental.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I think one of the biggest issues with it is it lacks a lead or like a star that I really gravitate towards. Like the other people in there, it's okay, but I'm not really that well versed or I don't really know that much of. I think it's Sterling K. Brown is his name. So the leads just aren't really that engaging to me. I mean, Jodie Foster is nice to see her, but and Charlie Day and Jeff Goldblum as a villain, but you got the mummy from the Cummy, and that's kind of iffy on her for sure.
I'm not a Charlie Day fan anyway.
It's a lot like John Wick, but this time it's not a hotel for hitmen. It's a hotel for criminals that need to get fixed. So it takes an element from John Wick. Remember? Like they're actually, I think John Wick did have that. Like there was a part of the hotel where you can get fixed
Yeah,
up, right? So they just stole that
yeah.
part from John Wick and then turned it into a movie. And it doesn't have anyone in the cast that is remotely close to John Wick. So, to Keanu Reeves. So, I don't know. We'll see. Sicario 2 still looks great. I'm definitely going to check that out. Upgrade, I'm going to check out next week. It's gotten surprisingly good amount of reviews. Everyone that I know that has seen it, they've liked it. One friend of mine said it's like $6 Million Man meets RoboCop, you know, that kind of thing, or $6 Million Man meets sort of a revenge sort of flick. Death Wish. He was like $6 Million Man meets Death Wish. And I like that
If it's
concept.
still around next week.
It should be, I think. At least at one theater.
It's bombing pretty badly.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, which sucks. People would rather go see fucking Solo. Even though that bombed too.
Which isn't even doing that well.
It's not doing that well.
And that's like the most expensive Star Wars movie.
It is? Oh, yeah, because of the extra... Yeah, the
That's what I
reshoots and
heard. It was
stuff.
the most expensive one.
Probably because of the reshoots.
Wasn't it like 250 million?
Yeah.
Like 250
And that's not
million?
including the advertising and the merchandise that aren't selling.
They have Lando fuck a robot?
Disney, I
Where-
think that they need to reconsider their plan here. I really think that they should do something similar to what they did before with Marvel. Like Kevin Feige was getting tired with somebody, and he was threatening to leave, and things weren't really working, and so they immediately took action and got rid of the person that was the problem and got somebody else in there and made it work. I think they should fire Kathleen Kennedy. I really do.
Do you know who the person was?
I can't remember for sure off the top of my head.
I wonder if it was that Avi Arad guy.
It might have been, I don't know, but Kathleen Kennedy,
Because he was, yeah.
I think she needs to go. I felt
But
she
they
needed to
won't, 'cause it'd
go
be
ever
sexist.
since Last Jedi, but you know, what do I know? That movie,
Yeah,
you look at
but
it
it'd
on
be
paper,
sexist.
it's made like over $1 billion worldwide, but then you look at the budget, which is 200 million. If you add advertising budget, could be another 100, and then you add like the merchandising, which they lost a shit ton of money on. It probably underperformed and didn't do as well as Disney had hoped. And then you have Solo, which is tanking. It's not even doing well overseas.
But didn't they also release The Lone Ranger?
Yeah. Well, Disney, you know,
And they didn't care?
they didn't care because, well, that's different. You know, this is Star Wars. You know, this is their new cash
Yeah,
cow.
but they still act like they don't care. Like they don't.
Yeah, but
They've given no notion of caring.
it is a little bit different, you know, because this is their new cash cow after Marvel, and if they fuck this up, they're not. It's not. Star Wars fans, a lot of them are already like, fuck this shit. And that's why that's a big reason why Solo didn't do that well, because there were Star Wars fans that were understandably pissed off after The Last Jedi. And but they're making excuses. They're saying things like, well, you know, it's just too soon for another Star Wars movie. You know, The Last Jedi just left theaters. So, and I'm like, no. But that's kind of part of it, though, because you are cranking out way too many fucking Star Wars movies. Like, you're just cranking out 1 or 2 out of your ass every fucking year. Like, that's a bit... I mean, at least 1 a year, that's a bit much. I mean, Star Wars was never like that. There was a delayed gratification thing. And there's none of that now. Because there's a Star Wars movie every year. But that's Disney for you. They're looking at Star Wars as the next Marvel, as the next MCU. I guarantee. They're looking at it like that. Where they can have a new cinematic universe, but with Star Wars, and it'll be just as successful. But the thing is, I think one point that I've heard a lot of people mention when they're talking about these new Star Wars movies, and I think it's a great point, is that a lot of these new Star Wars films, they don't have focus. Because you don't have the same people writing these movies. You don't have the same people directing them. Say what you want about Lucas and company and so on and so forth, but the same writers were involved for all three of the trilogy, the original trilogy for the most part. And I think the same thing can be said for the prequels. And there was still continuity. Yeah, George Lucas didn't do the best job, but at least there was continuity, and you didn't have somebody trying to do their version of... See, you don't have a Rian Johnson coming in the middle of the fucking trilogy and just throwing a wrench into everything. And you wouldn't have that if you had a focus. They're just doing like random shit with different directors, and what's your take on Star Wars? And I don't think that works with Star Wars. With Marvel, it's fine. But with Star Wars, I don't think that approach works. I really don't. And also, I don't think a lot of people were interested in Solo. I might have seen it today, but my parents decided to go and see it without me, which surprised me, but whatever. Fuck it. Fine. I might lose any sleep over not seeing Solo. I'll wait to see that some other time, because I'm not going solo to watch it. I'm not. It's a waste of my time. Because I don't care about Alden Ehrenreich's impression of a young Jack Nicholson playing Han Solo. And I don't give a shit about the concept either. And I know there are some people that I know that loved it, thought it was great, and there's even some people are trying to say this. Can you believe this? Now, to each their own. If you feel this way, I mean, I have no issue with it whatsoever, but I don't get it. But people saying like, oh, after I saw Solo, I'm not going to think of Solo as Harrison Ford anymore. I'm going to think of him as Alden Ehrenreich. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding. Really?
Were they drunk?
I don't know. Maybe they have that lowered expectations thing, man. They're like, anything new, therefore I gotta love it. Because I'm getting another Star Wars movie. We're getting more Star Wars movies. You should be happy because you're getting more Star Wars. Or they give you the argument, oh, you're just afraid of change. And here's my thing. Yeah, I am. I'm afraid of bad change. I'm afraid of changes to characters that are completely unnecessary and disrespectful. I'm afraid of films and franchises just taking bold risks for the sake of taking bold risks and for no other reason than that. I'm sick and tired of people giving praise to shit like The Last Jedi or Alien 3 because it's ballsy. It takes risks. Risks by themselves are not good. Okay? Risks by themselves do not equal a good movie or a good story. You have to have a reason for them. Then they have to have something that leads from those or comes from those. There's going to be nothing that comes from The Last Jedi. I guarantee J.J. Abrams is going to do everything he possibly can to mind wipe The Last Jedi. He's going to ignore the fuck out of that movie. I guarantee it.
No, he likes the film.
Oh, he does. Okay. But I know he's not only...
Of course, because he's buddies with Kathleen Kennedy.
Disney's probably going to give a mandate, though. I do feel that way. Because they're going to try to ignore
I think
what happened.
Their heads are up their ass.
Well, you could be right there.
I think their heads are too far up their asses they can't smell.
I can't argue with that.
I don't think they can smell the bullshit. If that's the case, why are you giving Rian Johnson a trilogy? Why are they giving Rian Johnson a trilogy of people?
I have no idea.
Like, it was such a fun... It's like the next movie should be called Dickhead, a Rian Johnson story. Or Asshole, a Kathleen Kennedy story. Those would be the next two fucking movies.
Pussyface.
Asshole, a Kathleen Kennedy story, and Dickhead, a Rian Johnson story, and Pussy Whipped, a J.J. Abrams story. Those are the next 3 fucking movies that should come out for Star Wars each year.
You don't care about
I think
Boba
more
Fett?
people would see those than fucking Solo. I never care about Boba Fett. I never understood the appeal of Boba Fett. He had 2 lines of dialogue, and then he fell into a fucking
He
pit and
dies
got
like a
eaten
bitch.
and burped out.
He dies like a bitch. He
I
really
never
does.
understood the appeal of Boba Fett. He has a cool look, but
The
that
Rocketeer
equals a
kicks more
movie?
ass. The Rocketeer kicks more ass than Boba Fett.
I never read the books of Boba Fett. I never read anything, so I'm not in that. I'm not in that category.
Mm-hmm.
He said 2 lines of dialogue. He's like, "Yes, sir," and he flew, and then he got killed by Luke, or no, not Luke, by accidentally hit by Han Solo.
But he's the
and
best
fell
part
into a
of
fucking pit.
He's the best part of the Star Wars Holiday Special, according to the honest trailers.
Yeah, because there's a lot of those lovers of the Star Wars Holiday Special. That's the millions of people that will see a Boba Fett movie is because of the holiday special.
I thought
they'll re-release that.
I thought that
DVD.
animated thing sucked too. I didn't think that was good either. The animation was horrible.
They'll play that before the movie. They'll play that segment before the Boba Fett movie.
But yeah, I mean,
or when you go see Boba Fett, it'll actually be the holiday special. It'll be April Fool's joke. I don't give a fuck about Boba Fett movies. Like, I don't give a fuck about a fucking... I don't care about an Obi-Wan movie. I don't care about a fucking Yoda movie. What, Yoda is going to be, at college getting drunk? In his heyday when he's a kid? Obi-Wan, I already know what happens to him. He becomes a hermit and then dies in A New Hope. He's not going to change anything because we've all seen Star Wars. Mm-hmm. We know where it's going.
Well, that's another problem with Solo is that film is going to be hampered because it is going to have to follow certain beats. Because it's going to have to be like, oh, Kessel Run, oh, this, oh, that, oh, this. It's going to be very severely hampered in terms of what it can do story-wise because it has to tick off all these different boxes.
The pansexual Lando and a bitchy robot and a Chewbacca who ate humans or where the fuck.
Cannibal Chewbacca? Shit. Fuck.
I saw a review, Mauler, I think his name was, where he does these in-depth reviews and he shows footage.
I saw his one of Black Panther.
And like, apparently, well, spoiler alert, I guess. Apparently, before Han Solo is put into this jail, like he mentioned, like Chewbacca ate people or something.
What the fuck?
I wouldn't.
Well, I've also heard from a lot of people who saw it that it's got no real villain, which doesn't help the movie. Although some people say it's good because it doesn't have a real villain, and I'm like, I don't understand that, but whatever.
Yeah, the secret cameo.
Was
I don't know if you heard about that. No, Darth Maul.
What?
With his new legs.
Are you fucking kidding me? God.
Darth Maul has got new legs.
Oh yeah, so basically they took the comic. Oh yeah, Disney's like, fuck the expanded universe, fuck the comics. We have the real universe, the real story, but we're gonna steal the fucking Darth Maul thing, and we're gonna steal a bunch of shit. That's basically what they're doing.
I know people are going to be pissed because I spoiled it, so I apologize. Blame me, don't blame Mike. I just don't give a fuck about Solo, so I just spoiled it. Anyway.
He's so low.
And I didn't give a fuck about seeing it.
He's so low about Solo.
Yeah, I'm so low, you can't see me. I just don't give I don't give a fuck about Solo, and I think a lot of people don't give a fuck about Solo.
I care more about Christopher Robin, to be honest. Because I... Really, seriously, because I grew up watching the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh on Disney Channel and stuff like that. So I liked the trailer. I thought it looked like it might be fun. It's like Peter Pan. It's like Hook. You know, it's Hook mixed with, you know, the with
Hmm.
Winnie the Pooh, because Christopher Robin's an adult. He's grown up now, and he has to go on this journey to find himself and find his friends again and stuff like that. So it looked like a fun movie, I thought. Well,
So he becomes a schizophrenic.
no, no, I don't think they're going to go with that. He's going to go find his happy
He's
thoughts.
seeing all these things that don't. These things don't exist. So he's schizo. It's like secret window.
It's going to be the ending. He's just going to get locked up in a straitjacket.
He has Winnie the Pooh buried in the garden. Like the idea
No,
of
he's
secret
just
window.
he's just gonna be
Winnie the
locked up
Pooh
in a
on it.
straitjacket, and
There
he's
they
gonna be talking to, he's gonna be talking like he's talking to Pooh or Piglet or Tigger, and then the guy, the doctor is gonna be like, it's the most acute case of schizophrenia I've ever seen.
So, Steven Soderbergh version of Winnie the Pooh.
Unsane. Then we have Peppermint, which I actually liked the trailer. I thought it looked decent.
I'm not a Jennifer Garner fan. I kind of wish it was someone else.
Yeah.
I'm not. I like the director. I'm just not a Jennifer Garner
Yeah,
huge fan of
I'm not a
hers.
huge fan of hers either, but she didn't look terrible here because I think she's trying to channel like her
Mhm.
alias persona. I mean, it could have been worse.
Mhm.
It could have been Ronda Rousey, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Wonder what happened to that
there's that.
Roadhouse remake she was supposed to be in.
When she lost her fights, they said no.
They said no. Yeah, they were like, I don't think she's gonna work in that role.
Now she's busy and now she's busy in WWF or
Yeah,
E.
WWE. She's gonna wrestle Nia Jax. And there's a second trailer
the
for
fuck is
Night
that?
School. Nia Jax. She's the current women's champion. She's this big,
Okay,
heavy set gal.
gotcha.
They have another trailer for Night School with Kevin Hart, just as unfunny as the first one. Watch, it'll be a hit.
You know, I actually rented that ride along too.
Yeah.
That's a piece of shit. It was like for free. It was like for like
Now-
50
now
cents.
he can
but it
feel
was a
my
piece of
pain.
shit. I rented both those ride along movies just to see them back to back, and they're nothing movies. Fucking nothing.
Yeah, Ride Along 2.
I
where
got
he's-
nothing else. They're just
Ride Along
nothing
2,
movies.
where he's ripping off Prince Akeem from Coming to America.
Yeah, pretty much. Fuck those movies. Kevin Hart needs to retire.
And then I wanted to mention briefly the Happy Time Murders. Now, I'm not super 100% huge on Melissa McCarthy. She's hit and miss for me. I like her more than some people do, because I know there's some people who are like, as soon as Ballbusters came out, it's just been an automatic, anything she's in is cancer, you know, that kind of thing. A lot of stuff she's been in lately has been pretty bad. I want to see the drama she did, where she's playing it's a dramatic role about this author who decides to make some fake, I think it's like some fake journal diaries or something, if I remember correctly. But because she plays a struggling author who pretty much hoaxes her way into fame.
I've heard of that.
And I liked her in the bit role that she had in Saint Vincent. And I liked her in Spy, and I didn't mind her in Bridesmaids, and I liked The Heat. She was awful in Ballbusters, but pretty much everybody was awful in that movie. And she was not very good in Tammy, or what the fuck was that called? The Boss. And it seems like a lot of the films she does that's directed by her husband that's just lazy bullshit, like Life of the Party. It's supposedly really terrible. The trailer looked awful anyway. It's basically just Back to School with Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
But this one, I didn't mind some of the gags. Yeah, some of the stuff at the end went on a bit too long. I hope they don't really rely solely on crass humor. I think that would be a missed opportunity for this overall concept. Yes, you've seen some of the stuff done before, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Meet the Feebles and whatever, but I know Brian Henson this has been his passion project. So I'm curious about it because he's been trying to get this off the ground for a long time. And I know Melissa McCarthy and I think her husband are attached as a producer, but I don't think they're nearly as powerful as some people think because this is Brian Henson's project from the start. She did some rewrites, but they're uncredited and apparently like they're really minor. So it's not going to be Linorama, which I really respect that. It's one of those films. I'm curious about it. I mean, I like the idea. I thought Melissa McCarthy in the trailer, I didn't think she was that insufferable, at least to me anyway. There were some gags that I could do without, like her continuously doing vagina stuff, but this time it's a hymen, and I'm like, fuck off. I'm just tired of that. But I mean, some of this, just the concept and the idea, and I you know, dirty fucking Muppets. You know, I understand. Yeah, Meet the Feebles did it before, but this is a different approach, and it's from one of the Hensons, so that's a big selling point for me. And I like some of the lines of dialogue, like the FBI agent. Like, what does FBI stand for? Fucking big idiots. So I like that, and I'll check it out. I mean, the trailer played before Deadpool 2, and pretty much everyone in the theater got a kick out of it. So we'll see. I'll give it a watch. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I'm looking forward to that more than Bohemian Rhapsody, which looks like a really bland, boring biography of Queen that is censored. Because that's what I heard, is that originally they were going to do some more kind of intense things with it and talk about the AIDS and talk about, you know, his sexuality. And because Freddie Mercury is one of the most well-known gay icons, you know, gay men. And the trailer didn't really reference that. And I can understand why a lot of gay individuals and gay people and that community was pissed off at that trailer. I mean, I can totally get that. It's like they're trying to act like he's not even gay, because there's a shot where he's with a girl. It's like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Are you really gonna try to do that shit?
Like, wasn't the rumor the band told them not to have that in the movie?
Yeah, what happened was, the band, there's a rumor that the rest of the band is basically getting involved and like censoring it. And if that's the case, fuck it. I'm sorry. That's not the real story. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want to do that, because I mean, yeah, it's sad, but it's also inspirational, and that's the true story. That's the truth. You give people a sanitized version of Queen, and it's no longer as interesting. I'm sorry, it just isn't. The most powerful moments of Queen are the moments when Freddie Mercury is passing away and he's dying, and one of the most amazing performances for me that he ever did was when he was on death's door, and he just grabbed some, drank some vodka, and then sang the vocals for The Show Must Go On. And it's just amazing. I mean, if you've ever heard that song, like, those vocals are just powerful and just fantastic. And then you find out that he did that he didn't have that long to live. He was frail. He was in a lot of pain, and just knocked that shit out of the park. That shows you the type of true talent that Freddie was. So that's disappointing to me. And I'm not the only one who feels that way. And I want to talk briefly about one other trailer. It's this movie called Destination Wedding. I'm not usually a huge fan of romantic comedies, but it's Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder. and they look like they have some good chemistry, and it's a different approach. It's not a sappy, light-hearted romantic comedy. It's like a sardonic, sarcastic romantic comedy, and I like that approach. Like, both of them are just sardonic and just being totally, just having this deadpan throughout the trailer. So it might be worth a watch for those two. Then we have some other news. Todd McFarlane is finally doing the Spawn movie. He's got his Spawn. It's Jamie Foxx. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Jamie Foxx as Spawn. But what I'm not fine with is that he's going ahead with his concept he's had for years, which I really am not a big fan of. This boring concept of Spawn is barely in the movie, and the police detectives, it's their film, and Spawn's in the background, and he even did, there was an interview and he was talking about Spawn's going to be like Jaws, a shark in Jaws, like he's going to be there, but you're going to only get to see little glimpses of him and stuff like that. And I'm like, why the fuck would I want to watch that movie? Why do I want to see a Spawn movie that barely has any Spawn in it?
Because people like The Dark Knight Rises, which had no Batman in it, or all these other movies that had. Let's see, Dark Knight Rises had no Batman in it. What was it? There's like a bunch of movies where like Iron Man 3 had no Iron Man in it.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's more. Like Godzilla had no Godzilla in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean. I don't know what the fuck Todd McFarlane is smoking. I mean, what was the last movie he was a part of? The original Spawn?
I think that might have been it. I don't remember for sure.
And what?
I mean, the last time a comic book author and creator and artist was really heavily involved with the production was The Spirit, and that's not good.
It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, with the lead hero who's talking about how he wants to fuck his city.
That's what it sounds like. And with the Spawn movie, I really have no interest in it. I think it could very well be worse than the fucking original movie, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't see the interest. Like Jamie Foxx, I don't know. And if he's not going to be in the film that much, he's going to be in it for 10 minutes? Probably. For all I know, 15 minutes. And then why the fuck is it called Spawn?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll just stick with the animated series from HBO.
Just call it fucking Cloak and Dagger or something.
Well, they already did that. That's the Cloak and Dagger TV series or whatever on some network I've never heard of. Apparently, Brett Ratner still wants to direct Rush Hour 4, but the studio says no.
So get another guy directed. Why does it have to be Brett Ratner? Get Rennie Harlan. Get any other directors to do Rush Hour 4. It doesn't have to be Brett Ratner.
And Jason Momoa.
Why is Brett Ratner the only one that has the key to do Rush Hour?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not like he's a fucking... Like no one else has done a buddy cop movie.
So Jason Momoa apparently he shared some Crow concept art for the new movie. He apologizes for dropping out, and he promises to play the character one day. I hope that doesn't happen, because apparently the new Crow remake, the latest rendition of it, is in development hell again, because the director Corin Hardy dropped out and the stars dropped out, and I hope this is going to be the end of it. I really do. I'm almost thinking that this is like some curse. Like this Crow remake is cursed, and like the reason why everyone's dropping out is because Brandon Lee's ghost, it shows up and just scares the shit out of them, everyone who's involved, and it's pretty much just saying, don't do this. or I will haunt you for the rest of your life. Don't stain my legacy anymore with any more shitty Crow films. I died on the set of the first Crow. That's enough. Okay, I don't need to have any more bullshit involving Crow films. Give it up, or I will make your life a living hell, Jason. I will.
Where was he for the Crow sequels? No one wants or cares to see this. It's another thing Hollywood has to learn, understand, and do. Do people actually want this? No. Just like people did not want a RoboCop remake, a Total Recall remake, a Red Dawn remake. Just let it go, make your own fucking movie.
I agree. Now, speaking of things people don't want, a creepy crawlers movie. I can't even say it because I'm just like creepy, because I can't even believe it. I'm like, really? A creepy crawlers film? Yeah, that shitty cartoon. Yeah, that was so great. Do you remember that shitty cartoon from like the 90s or something? Yeah, barely nobody remembers that cartoon.
I never saw it. Never saw it.
I can't think of anyone that remembers that. I saw that intro one time and like, there was a creepy crawlers cartoon? What the the fuck? Really? Come on. Just running out of fucking ideas. Top Gun 2 has officially started shooting. There was a photo on the set with Tom Cruise dressed up in flight gear again, holding Maverick's helmet. I love Top Gun. I do. But I'm extremely leery of this sequel because it's like years and years and years later. Like, 30 years later? Like, it's long-ass time to wait for a sequel. There's been like 50 fucking video game sequels by this point. But if they're doing the stupid drone thing, I'm not going to be a fan of that.
But it's the director Tron Legacy.
You know, in Oblivion. So he's done some good stuff with Tom Cruise. So, I mean, there could be a worse director involved. Here's my thing. I'm guessing this is what it's going to be. Tom Cruise is going to take over the role that Tom Skerritt had in, I think Skerritt plays a character named Viper. So he's going to take over Viper's role and train some other young guns. Some shit's going to go down. And then in the climax, Tom's going to have to get into his flight gear and lead the squad or something and save the day. Could be fun. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe it's equally about a volleyball tournament.
It's Side Out 2. See, Thomas Howell is going to show up in a cameo.
We're going to give Val Kilmer back, and it's going to be a redo of the volleyball scene, but it's going to be more of the movie.
Oh my god,
as they're playing with the boys.
That's going to be horrible. Because have you seen Val Kilmer now? Like, I don't think you want to see Val Kilmer without his shirt on right now. I hope he's doing better health-wise, though. Last time I checked.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah.
So, speaking of sequels, Bad Boys 3 apparently added a cinematographer. They added the cinematographer.
I thought it didn't have a director.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't have a director yet, but they added a cinematographer. It's got it's this guy named Benoit Deby, and he did cinematography for Enter the Void and Spring Breakers, which I find interesting. Like, Bad Boys 3, you're getting that guy? Like, he said, what, is this going to be an acid trip? Is that what this is going to be now?
So we can photograph the movie, but there's no director. Backwards, but...
Speaking of a film that's backward, not necessarily backwards, but it's a film that is in limbo right now, is Slender Man. It was supposed to come out in May, and then it got pushed to August, and then now Sony's shopping it. You would think Sony would still release it, and understand when you know how desperate they are, and nowadays even some of the shittiest horror films can make money. So, but the thing is, I guess maybe I remember hearing something that Tom Rothman himself doesn't like horror movies or something. But it's one of those things. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they just saw it like Amityville Awakening, or like, this sucks, this is terrible, we can't release this in theaters. And so now they're like, well, we don't want to release in theaters. Maybe somebody else can try to do it, or direct to video. I think this
they
is gonna
can't afford direct to video.
This is going to be this year's Amityville Awakening. It's going to be
which year?
delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed, and then it's going to get released.
10 years.
Yeah, it's going to get released on VOD sometime.
So by the time we're 50, it'll be released. Just for how long Amityville Awakening took. No one gives a fuck about Slender Man. No one has given a fuck about Slender Man for like 5 years.
Yeah, they
4
waited
years
way
or something.
too
Like,
long
no one
to do
cares
a Slender Man
about
movie.
it. And then there's the controversy with the real kids. Like, someone killed someone over Slender Man. There's a big controversy for that that people can look up. And no one cares. No one ever cared. And the trailer didn't even look like Slender Man.
No.
It could have been any fucking title. It could have been Winchester 2, for all I know. Or fucking The Woman in Black 3, for all I know. I mean, it didn't look anything like a Slender Man movie. For all I know, it was a wannabe Amityville sequel. So there's 80 of them. There's 85 fucking Amityville movies, which Mike has to review sometime. But it just, Slender Man. If Tom Rothman doesn't like horror movies, why the fuck did they make it in the first place?
I don't know.
That's how stupid Tom Rothman is.
So apparently James Cameron, he's still dedicated to making 3D movies for the foreseeable future. Yeah, he's trying to like keep the 3D thing going.
How about you dedicate some fucking Blu-rays to True Lies in the Abyss?
Yeah, I know.
You asshole.
People are telling me, like, it's going to happen.
How about you dedicate that?
I keep hearing people say it, like, it's going to happen, and then it never fucking happens.
In 10 years, when Avatar 2 comes out, it'll happen.
Yeah. Apparently, Kevin Smith is...
tired James Cameron.
I am too. I'm tired of him, like, just...
Fucking tired.
I mean, he's got a point when he's
tired of his ego, bullshit.
Yeah. A lot of people were giving him shit for what he said about Marvel recently, but I think he does have a point there when he's wanting people to be open to and see more traditional science fiction films, and he wants to see more of those in theaters instead of just all these Marvel movies. I actually agree with him on that, but
oh yeah, like the Dances with Wolves, Last Rainforest, fucking Avatar.
Well, I mean, not his view of a traditional sci-fi movie, at least his current view of it. But I agree with this.
Or Terminator Genesis, which he loved. It's even on the front of the fucking Blu-ray.
I know.
If you'll love this movie.
Well, then he took it back.
It was like Terminator Genesis.
He took it back as a paycheck.
Well, then
bounced.
you know what? Well, like the Goonies, I'll take my money back. Take my coin back.
Yeah, I like that. I'm
Maybe
taking it back.
To make a fucking Blu-ray. Make a Blu-ray of True Lies already, for fuck's sake. Or The Abyss.
You see, this was my wish.
God damn it.
This was my wish. My wish that The Abyss and the True Lies would get a release on Blu-ray. Didn't happen.
Taking it back.
So I'm taking it back.
Why the fuck does he have to be there every god? There's other people that can do a Blu-ray, and you
and
just
it sounds
watch
like he
it.
fucked up T2, so I don't want him to be doing the transfer for The Abyss or True Lies.
Yeah, I heard that too. Go about the jerking off Terminators, Jimmy Canyon.
Yeah. So, speaking of other films, other things that got shelved, and this one, I'm like, thank God. The Heathers reboot that I ranted about, and I was a little bit
Yeah.
too harsh on some things, but you know, whatever. Everybody makes mistakes. Um, but it got pulled. The Paramount Network shelved it. They're like, nope, not gonna do it, which is great. I hope it stays shelved
I
and
thought
never
that had
sees
come
the light of
out.
day. You thought it would
I
come
thought it
out?
had come out because I know you ran. I thought it had come out because you had ranted on that like
The
a long
trailer.
time ago,
The
right?
trailer came
So
out, and then it was supposed to air or something
yeah,
recently, and then it got pushed back because of the shootings, and then I think they're just shelving it now,
mm,
which I'm fine with that.
cool.
That's good news, if you ask me. They're making a fucking sequel to
Did you want
Maleficent.
to
I don't know why.
what?
Yeah,
It's called
Maleficent 2. They're making a sequel to Maleficent. The one
the
with
fuck is Maleficent?
it was the Disney movie with Angelina Jolie playing the evil
Oh, okay.
Queen
That no
Maleficent.
one saw?
Yeah, they didn't do that well. Yeah, I know. I don't know why Disney's making a sequel to it.
No one saw the fucking movie.
And people who did see it weren't a big fan of it. So, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why they're doing a sequel to that.
Okay. Did you want to briefly mention since you did a review of Roseanne that it got canceled?
Yeah, I can
And just
briefly mention it.
briefly,
I know some people. I didn't want to because tread on kind of walk on eggshells kind of thing. But
yeah.
I'll briefly mention it. Roseanne, the new reboot, did really well the recent season in the ratings for ABC. But Roseanne recently was stupid and decided to be an ignorant dumbass and did some dumb tweet that compared a woman to an ape from Planet of the Apes, and it was pretty damn racist. And when I
I think the full
when I initially talked
I
about
think the full
stuff,
quote was like the Muslim Brotherhood meets Planet of the
yeah,
Apes or something.
yeah, equals VJ, which is this politician lady. Now, I knew nothing about her past of doing controversial shit on Twitter because I don't follow people on Twitter. I'm not so obsessed with movie stars or TV stars or anything like that that I follow them on Twitter and know everything that goes on in their social media. So when she initially was fired, ABC fired her and canceled the 11th season because of the racist tweet and the firestorm that ensued afterwards. And I was just trying to make sense of things. When it happened, I was like, what? So I was trying to be like, maybe you could salvage this. Maybe we could save this. Maybe, canceling it might have been a little bit too much because what about the people who didn't do anything wrong? You're punishing
Well, yeah.
them.
Honestly, what you could have done is just have Dan John Goodman and call it Dan or call it The Connors.
Yeah.
And you could have that show, and Roseanne got killed off.
She died in surgery.
Dan got killed off.
You could say she died in surgery. She's
like Dan got killed off.
She's going to go to surgery anyway for her knee. So maybe there were complications, and she died in surgery. So the rest of the show takes place
You
after
could have done that, and you know what? If they did that, maybe I'd watch the show because I never liked Roseanne.
See,
I would have actually watched the fucking show.
Well, I mean, I've been rewatching season 1 because Amazon actually is like, no, we're keeping, and Film Rise are like, no, we're keeping it available for people to watch because it's a landmark show. And it is, and I don't agree with the idea of retroactively punishing or trying to erase the past because of something that happened decades later. I mean, I don't think that's fair for the other people involved with the show who did nothing wrong. So I've been watching the first season. I've been having fun with it. But Roseanne has been my least favorite part of it. She's obnoxious. She's a dick towards Dan, and just being honestly, I'm not really a fan of Roseanne the character in the show. I'm more. I watch it for Dan. I watch it for John Goodman. I watch it for the other characters in the show, and I watched the new season for that as well.
That's why back in the day I could never get into Roseanne. If I had like when I was a kid, we had like 3 or 4 channels. One of them was ABC. I tried to watch Roseanne. I liked John Goodman, but I didn't fucking like her, so I said fucking watch Home Improvement or Murphy Brown or something.
Yeah.
And
she said some dumb shit, and she got her show canceled, and then she continued to put her foot in her mouth on Twitter. She said she was going to leave Twitter, and then she didn't do it, and then she did all this other stuff. She got mad at her co-stars who had left tweets saying, this, we don't associate ourselves with this type of thought process or these beliefs, and she's like, oh, you're going to throw me under the bus. It was just this childish fucking response, and I lost a ton of respect for her. And I remember hearing things about her anyway, that she was a total bitch to work with even during the heyday of the show. But it's one of those things where I was trying to think of like I had the idea that Matt did, like save it by having, still have the next season, and I just felt bad for everyone else involved, for Sarah Gilbert, for
of course
all these other producers and stuff, because they worked their asses off for this new show, and they're out of a job because of some dumb bullshit by Roseanne. And no, it's not Ambien. I'm sorry. I don't buy that shit. So,
sorry, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I know.
Buy it.
Or Kevin Smith actually stood. He actually did a good job in that interview. He was like, I'm not agreeing with that. he didn't even he said yeah, Ambien, there could be some crazy shit that would happen, but I don't know about the racist thing, But the thing is, I just hope that what she does next is she gets her head right. Because I heard she was saying things like, I'm mentally ill or something. Or if that's the case, then get right, okay? Get your head right. And then understand this type of behavior and shit's not acceptable. Because this isn't the first time she had done things like that. And I knew nothing about that when I was initially writing posts on Facebook and doing things like that. I knew nothing about her comparing some other politician to her saying that she had swinging 8 balls, or going around and having this tasteless fucking photo where she's dressed up as Hitler and she has cookies she pulled out of the oven and then says they're Jew cookies. I knew nothing about that beforehand. Or the conspiracy theories, which I'm not going to really get too much on somebody. I mean, Tom Cruise is a fucking Scientologist, okay? So,
you're not Jesse Ventura.
No, I don't give a shit. I mean, the conspiracy theories, some people are trying to act like, oh, that's like a sign she's bad. I'm like, I don't care. Whatever. I mean, that's not really a sign of somebody's character. That's a sign that somebody might be a little fucked in the head, but that's not a sign of somebody's character. But, these other things that she's been doing, her responses to people on Twitter, like, you bitch, or all this other shit. Really, just being an ass. So, I respect, part of me is like, I do want to give her some appreciation for what she did. I mean, she created the show, she created the platform and everything. See her response to some of the people, like the actor, Michael Fishman, who played DJ on the show and got a job. He hasn't had a job acting in years, and he finally got one for the new series. And he had a really good tweet talking about, we're all about equality, and I don't believe in any of that, da-da-da-da-da-da. And she's all like, well, I created that platform for you to do that, and that's how you treat me, you throw me under the bus. It's like, she's just tone deaf. She's fucking tone deaf to the point it's just like, You have a point. She does. She did create that platform. But she doesn't know how to say it in a way that doesn't come across as anything but antagonistic. And that's a serious problem.
Mike, let's put it this way. She makes Tom Arnold look good.
She does. She does.
It almost makes me feel sorry for Tom Arnold, who had to deal with her ass like Freddy's dead.
Yeah.
Final Nightmare and shit.
Oh shit. But
makes me want to watch Carpool.
Or that movie Backfield in Motion, where she did a film. Did you know about this movie? It's a TV movie where she is with Tom Arnold and she plays like a football player or something. It's a fucking dumb as shit.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, part of me.
Remember She-Devil? That was a piece of shit.
I should not be surprised that she behaved that way, but it's still something that's just, it's still surprising because you have a fucking show. Shut up. Get off Twitter. Like, do you understand? Like, she probably signed some contract agreement with ABC, who is owned by Disney. Disney ain't gonna accept that shit. The head of CBS is a black woman. Like, what do you think was gonna happen? Even if you're trying to, why do you know so-and-so was blah, blah, blah. Don't even make the joke. Don't even go there. Keep that up in your head. Otherwise, you'll end up dead. Your career will end up dead. And that's what it is right now. So she needs to learn to accept that she was ignorant and that was uncalled for and that was stupid, and then move forward from that. And if she takes the right steps and does the right thing. I remember reading how she's trying to, I'll call the people I could have offended and apologize to them in person. That's a start. But I want to see progress and continued progress. And if you don't make the steps to make yourself better or to be a better person, then that's your loss. And I hope she does that, because I'm not the type of person who's going to try to hold a grudge forever. You know, I want to see her become a better person and so on and so forth. I mean, because, for instance, Michael Richards, that racist rant he had, I watched that again. Like, that is, I mean, possibly
I remember that.
Even worse than the tweet that Roseanne tweeted, in terms of just everything.
Well, the Michael Richards is way worse.
Yeah, it is.
It's a full-on.
Yeah.
I mean, it is way worse. It's like Mel Gibson.
It is. It's really bad. But I'm willing to give Mel another shot. I've given him a chance. We've all given Robert Downey Jr. another shot after he, almost snorted all his brain cells away.
Sleep in other people's bedrooms or whatever the hell he was doing.
So I'm willing to give people second chances. Even Michael Richards. I mean, it's been long enough. I think part of it might have been how he felt, but it also might have just been he was just angry. Like, you can just see that, just fury, just straight up fury. And it's not acceptable. But I think you could tell, like, that night just tore him up. Like, you can tell he actually is legitimately shaken by it. I don't think Roseanne is shaken by this right now. The only thing she's shaken by right now is the loss of her paycheck. So,
getting fired.
Yeah. So we'll see. Because I think the thing with Roseanne, she was so used to be able to say whatever the hell she wanted to and do whatever and no consequences. I really think that's what she's used to. So now she's facing the consequences for the first time and is all like, "What do I do? I don't know what to do."
Well, someone said it best. Yes, we have freedom of speech, but we don't have, freedom of consequence.
No.
And if you want to think of something that was bullshit, look what happened to Tim Allen. Lost his show because of bullshit.
Well, that's coming back,
I think that
which
was
is
more
ironic.
bullshit than
Fox
Roseanne.
is bringing that show back.
Yes. Yeah, really enough.
I mean, Roseanne should have. I mean, the thing is, she should have known better, because she knew what she was signed up for. And ABC is known as the inclusion network. They call it like the equality net. They even have this label about themselves. I mean, The network airs Blackish and other shows like that. So she fucked up big
And
time.
there were Disney, right?
Yeah. So you know, I'm just hoping against all hope that she learns from this. If she doesn't, that's her loss. I mean, but I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to be like, all reruns, all everything from the show, everything should be removed and erased entirely, never to be seen again, shot off into the sun because of her and her racist tweet, so we could show
No,
everybody that that's
that should
unacceptable.
not happen either. No.
Yeah, I don't agree with
That
that.
shouldn't happen either. No, no.
Because
If fucking Jeepers Creepers 3
yeah,
could come out, like that was at the video store to rent. I mean, if people can allow that, then yeah, they can allow Roseanne.
Seinfeld is a prime example of this.
Exactly. Michael Richards on there. You were talking about Michael Richards.
Yeah.
It's not like they're like. Although
they still have reruns of Seinfeld on TV.
No, I was going to ask, do they have reruns of Cosby Show?
No, I don't think so. But that's, to me,
yeah.
if you're gonna go on,
well, that's way worse than. I mean,
yeah. But then again, it's another thing. It is part of history. Cosby Show is a part of television history.
Yeah.
And not everybody involved with that cast did what Cosby did. So I'm gonna actually stick to my guns on that and be like, I don't think that's necessarily okay either. If there are people who do want to, you know, there are a lot of people who actually did grow up with that show and they had a lot of memories with it, and it instilled a lot of good values in them. The same thing with Roseanne. Roseanne actually is not a racist show. Like, she might have been a racist, or she said some racist shit recently. Who knows? She might have changed, like, maybe over the years. Like, I remember seeing something where her political viewpoints have changed drastically over the years. So maybe there's other things that have changed, too. So I can't really say for sure that she had the exact same mindset when the show aired, you know, the first series. I can't say that. I don't know. Nobody knows. But you know, I can see why some people feel that way. But I'm not going to punish the other people. That's my thing. I don't feel right punishing the other people involved with the show. And John Goodman, he has a career thanks to Roseanne. Like, he does not have a career without that show.
Yeah. Right.
And, you know, I just want to, I'm watching the show to support the other people, and I'm just realizing that the show was never really great because of Roseanne. It was great because of the writers and because of the other characters. But yeah, with Seinfeld, it's a prime example, because that's the one that there are reruns still on, and people still consider it to be this great show, and I love it. I still watch Seinfeld. But, you know, I know that happened, but I'm not with Michael Richards in 2006, and I don't support it, and I don't condone it. And that's the thing I don't get, is how some people can look at, well, oh, you do support it, you do condone racism, because you are watching those shows, and you are doing that. I'm like, come on. That's just, I think that's a stupid argument.
That would be like me, that'd be like me saying, oh, well, to anyone who likes Jeepers Creepers movies, you must like pedophilia.
Yeah, that's just a stupid...
And that'd be a stupid thing to say.
It is.
And that's one of those things that, like for me personally, it's hard for me to watch those movies because of the director.
Well, Clown House.
One of those
I don't know
that,
if I'm ever going to see Clown House. Oh. See, that's my one exception to my rule that I have set up, because the crime happened on the set of that film, and that kid who's the lead in that movie was a kid that was molested by the director. So there's a different sort of thing there. This wasn't one of those things where, 20 years later, the actor who played Kramer had a racist rant, or 20 years later, Roseanne tweeted something racist.
Right.
Like, that actually was something that happened on the set of that film. So that's hard for me to...
Right.
But then again, there's a lot of other movies that probably had some shady stuff happen on the set that I don't really know about. But the thing is, you can't retroactively ban... I don't really see the sense in banning everything because something controversial or offensive happened when it comes to one of the stars. I mean, are you going to ban every single film that Weinstein produced? That's a lot of movies. Are you gonna ban every single movie that Kevin Spacey starred in? You gonna ban Baby Driver? See, if you have that logic,
well, I mean, maybe they should ban like 9 Lives or something.
yeah.
That funny
But I
cat
mean,
movie. Does,
the
or something.
logic that people
But I mean,
have,
I get what you mean.
you're gonna basically ban a shit ton of movies and TV shows because,
Well, I mean, that's even something I have to learn. Like as much as I have problems with, say, the Jeepers Creepers movies, with some of the stuff that's put into it, I have to be like, you know what? If I think of it, no, you can't ban them. You can't, because then it's like the thing. Well, if you ban this, then what about banning this? And then, like you were saying, what will it lead to? Burning books or all this other shit? I mean, there's, I don't like a Serbian film, but will it be banned? Fine, no, but it doesn't mean I have to like you to watch it. That's the opinion and subjectiveness of everybody and anybody. If don't watch it, don't like it, have your own honest opinion. But if it
with Roseanne,
if it's available, it's available.
If you don't want to watch the original series because you feel that you don't want to support Roseanne in her racist beliefs, don't watch it. That's fine. But I do feel the option should be available for people to see it, and I'm glad that Film Rise and Amazon, they were like, yeah, we feel that way too. I mean, it's just actually, this whole thing that's happened, it just makes me appreciate the other people involved in the show even more than I did before. Like, I just watched the show and I'm just like, wow, like, the kid actors, they were really good for the time. Sarah Gilbert, Michael Fishman, Leslie Goranson, John Goodman, phenomenal. Like, he had ounces of charisma. Not ounces. I mean, just that's putting it lightly. He's just a ton of charisma, and he was a great actor too. There was one episode I saw where he was frustrated about something because he was used to be able to get involved and like knock guys out in the bar and be this tough guy, and he's coming to the realization that he's getting older now, and that's frustrating to him, and he shows his emotion by breaking a bunch of drywall with a hammer, and John Goodman did that really well. Like, it didn't come across as acting or trying too hard. Like, it came across as real emotion, and that's a sign of a talented actor. So he was stretching his acting muscles for really the first time with that show, because before he had done brief roles like in Raising Arizona and in Chud, but he didn't really have anything that was that extensive until he got the role of Dan Connor. So I'm watching it as a respect to John Goodman and to see his rise, that kind of thing. And I don't think that should be forgotten about or thrown in a dumpster or be associated with something that he's not associated with. The other people in the cast, they're not racist. So why the hell would you constantly, for the rest of the time, associate the show, all of it, with racism? It's the same thing with Seinfeld. I could associate Seinfeld with racism till the end of time. Like, or it's just, I don't think that's a good idea. But yeah, controversial opinions here, folks. But I think I don't think it should be that controversial. I agree with the idea that what's going to happen next, and start burning books and stuff like that's a very slippery slope, folks. And I don't think it's a slope that anybody should want to go down. So, speaking of other stuff that I don't know if it's slippery slope or anything, but stuff that I don't think should go down, period. Willow 2. Like, there's a Willow sequel could still happen. It's being discussed. Just no. It's been way too long. The first Willow didn't do that well. I'm surprised there's even any talk of it. I bet there was talk before Solo came out, and now Solo is bombing, so now it's like, yeah, no, Ron Howard, we don't want another Willow, because Lucasfilm was probably like, Willow didn't do very well. So that's one, Ron Howard's just having Willow flashbacks.
What's next? Howard the Duck 2?
Who knows? Now,
Back to Me 2?
there probably will not be a Howard the Duck 2, but there might be a Howard the Duck series or something, but I don't know. We'll see.
Back to Me sequel?
Well, it gets a collector's edition on Blu-ray.
Is Jason Bateman going to be on it?
I hope so. That would be
No,
nice.
Paul Rudd. That's what it was. Paul Rudd.
Rudd.
It's Paul Rudd, yeah. Paul Rudd commentary.
We could have Jason Bateman on there too, but I don't know. So, I don't know what he'd say. What he'd have to say about it.
I got him mixed up. I meant Paul Rudd. But
I'd be curious to hear his thoughts
Me.
on Teen Wolf 2. But yeah. But yeah, speaking of Blu-rays, that gets to the last thing I want to talk about for this episode. Talk about some upcoming Blu-rays. Specifically, let's first, Scream Factory has some stuff coming up. You got Brain Scan, which is a film I don't mind, but the Blu-ray, I wouldn't mind getting it down the road, but only if there's like an extensive amount of features. I doubt if they're gonna get Ever Furlong. I don't even know where he is. Is he even around? I hope he's doing okay. I really do. Because I've heard things, about like his health or drugs or whatever, and I hope he's clean and he's doing all right.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear the guy, the guy who played Trickster. Like, what the hell is he doing now?
Have they mentioned features or no?
I don't know yet. I could look it up. But
that's
a film that I don't mind. It's just I like the idea. There's some cool things about it, but it's not a good whole.
You don't like the ending.
I hate the ending. It really hurts the film. Extras are in progress, and they will be announced at a later date. So no features yet. The Unborn, no, not the shitty David S. Gore directed movie where I guess he decides that you can get undemonically possessed by throwing somebody off a balcony. No, not that stupid shit.
Of course.
New Horizons, Roger Corman production about these genetically engineered super babies. I reviewed the movie a long time ago, and I didn't mind it. So I'm surprised it's getting a release. So I'd be all for that. I'm curious about it. They're also going to be releasing the Rec films in like a box set. So if you're a fan of the Rec films, here's a Rec collection. I could really care less. I don't really care. I don't know about you. I don't. So.
No, not really. No.
Brain Dead with Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton. That's getting a Blu-ray release from Scream Factory. As is The Evil with Richard Crenna. It's a haunted house film that originally was released by Shout Factory in a DVD set with a film called Twice Dead. Not going to be any new features, I guess. They're just putting on Blu-ray, so I'm like, I'll just get the DVD for cheap someday or something. 'Cause then I get The Evil, and then probably the same transfer, same features, and I get Twice Dead, so I get a twofer. The Bride with Sting and Jennifer Beals, that's getting a release. Yeah, I was kind of on the movie, so I'm fine with the DVD that I have. So, In the Mouth of Madness, I know we've probably already mentioned that before, but I'm looking forward to that. Return of Living Dead Part 2. I don't mind it. I hope they don't just take like snippet from that documentary and that's the features. Like really, honestly, the features is something that's like like I could really. It's not really gonna be that big of a deal to me because I already have a lot of features with the documentary. More brains. So,
Well, that's on the first movie.
well, yeah, there's also the second one. The DVD has stuff on the second and third and other installments, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, but it's like one like 15, 20 minute
Oh, okay. So
thing.
they might have more.
You
So,
would think it'd be more than that.
okay. So they might have more then. So, okay. We'll see what extra features they might have with it. Um, it's,
Wonder what soundtrack is going
yeah,
to
I
be.
hope they have the original soundtrack. Because I know for the longest time it was only a VHS or Laserdisc or something.
Or, or if you, or you if you have the DVD and you switch it to like the
Yeah,
Spanish
it's
track or
the
something, you could
Spanish
hear.
track. Yeah, that's not gonna work though.
If you switch it, you could hear the real music.
So yeah, so those are some of the upcoming Scream Factory releases. They're also doing The Seventh Sign, which was a post-apocalyptic kind of end of the world movie with Demi Moore and
Michael.
yeah, Michael Biehn. Jurgen Prochnow is also in it. I believe they're also doing some other upcoming. I'm gonna check a Facebook message some guy sent me because he mentioned them briefly. Is it's pretty. It's let's see. Yeah, the evil seventh. Yeah, he said seventh seal, but no, it's seventh sign. Yeah, those are really the ones that are coming up. I believe. I think there might have been another one that I can't remember off the top of my head. And then you have some stuff from Kino Lorber. Kino Lorber is going to be coming out with Firebirds, fun, underrated Nicolas Cage, Tommy Lee Jones helicopter movie. If you like Top Gun, definitely check out Firebirds. I think it has a commentary with the director. And then One Good Cop with
Oh, okay.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Underrated film. I think it's a overlooked gem. So that's getting a Blu-ray release from Kino Lorber. And Kino is also going to be
They're all
releasing Deep Rising in a special edition.
very nice. I really look forward to
So
that.
do I.
There's quite a few features on it as well. It's a 4K restoration. You have a commentary with the director and editor. You have interviews with Wes Studi, the guy who was the comic relief, Kevin O'Connor, Anthony Heald, who was sort of the uptight villain who ran the cruise ship. Interviews with the effects guys, both with IOM and some makeup effects guys. Sally No Tree Williams interview, or Famke Johnson, but looks like it has quite a few features. Nice says getting a 4K scan, and should look good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not in a double bill with the Puppet Masters, like with, I think, Mo Creek Entertainment.
Yeah.
Which the picture probably didn't look bad on that, but it's nice that it's separately with a
Well, also
4K
you get extra
scan.
features as well.
Yeah, that's a good bonus too. So I look forward to it, definitely. It comes out in August.
And they got interviews with the effects guys and stuff like that. And no Trig Williams or Famke Johnson, but apparently they were asked, but they didn't want to do it. So, hey, can't get too upset because, they were asked, but they refused. So that's what it is. So yeah, looking forward to that release. That's one I'm definitely looking forward to. Haven't heard much else on the front with some upcoming stuff. I know The Change is supposed to come out with Second Sight, but I haven't heard that much. It's supposed to come out in August or something, but I haven't really heard any more news about it. The Severin release is kind of up in the air. Haven't heard much about that either. Just one little thing I want to talk about before we go. Going back to the Roseanne thing, I read something somewhere where ABC is actually mulling over doing a spinoff with centering around Darlene and her family. And Dan as well, because John Goodman's actually expressed interest in doing the spinoff. We'll see what happens. I think ABC might be open to doing it because they're on the hook. Like, they have, they're going to eat a lot of money if they don't go forward with another season. They had a lot of advertisers lined up. There was a lot of money that they were going to get with 11th season. But yeah, it seems like the other cast members are open to doing it. So we'll see what happens. From what I heard, it might just be a rumor, but I like the idea. Just call it the Connors and just have a new series, I guess. I'd be curious about it. I mean, honestly, Sarah Gilbert's storyline to me was with her and her sister Becky were like some of the best parts of the new series anyway. And this will give the new cast members, the Darlene's kids, more screen time and more character development. And, more Dan, and maybe, John Goodman will have more to do. Like, maybe he was not as energetic or wasn't as into the role because he knew how kind of out there Roseanne was, and maybe it was a struggle to work with her again. I don't know. I wasn't on the set, but it would be nice if that would happen, because then that would mean that the people who were in the cast and crew, like, they still get to work and they don't lose their job, and that once again will show to Roseanne, the consequences of her actions. We'll move forward. The other people that you basically forced out of work are going to work, and you're not. Of course, some people, though, are like, oh, you can't have a show without her. But, is what it is. But, yeah. Oh, and yeah, Wonder Woman 84. Yeah, the second Wonder Woman film is going to take place in 1984. It'll be in the 80s. I'm not looking forward to it, and also the first Wonder Woman, it fucked shit up, made her character look like an asshole. She used the power of love to defeat Ares and supposedly stop World War I, because apparently the only reason why anybody was fighting is because of Ares. She kills Ares, but that doesn't mean anything because because you still have World War II. You have all these other wars. And apparently she didn't do anything. She just sat back and didn't do shit during World War II. Yeah, it makes your superhero look like an asshole. So that's an issue with that script. But the whole movie's overrated anyway, so. But anyway, this June, actually, there's a decent amount of movies I'm looking forward to. Incredibles 2, Sicario 2, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom actually doesn't look that bad. An Upgrade, which I do hope is still in theaters, because it looks like a cool movie. From what I've heard about, it's got good reviews, but apparently nobody's watching it. And that would suck if that bombs, because it's a film that's trying to do something unique, put a new spin on some old ideas, isn't the same old thing, and nobody goes and sees it. Might be this year's Dread. And, didn't really want another Dread. Oh, and
not surprised.
Yeah. Apparently my cat doesn't either, because he's scratching the shit out of the scratching post. He's like, damn it, I can't believe that bombed. I like that movie too. Or maybe he just psychically got wind of the new Thundercats cartoon. Thundercats Roar. So more like Thunder Pussies. Thunder Pussies. Thunder Kittens. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I mean, I'm not even a big fan of Thundercats, and I feel the fans' pain. And well, I can't even feign interest in the new Thundercats. So, but that's just the trend. Let's reboot something. Oh, it's a well-known IP, but let's not give a shit about it, and then just reboot it, and then we'll try to get the old fans and the new fans, but the new fans don't give a shit about the old IP, so we'll just piss on the old fans, and then we'll still get their support. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. But that's how it is. A lot of reboots and remakes lately. So anyway, I'm out of gas, and I don't really know what else to say. So, except I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and thank you for listening, and stay tuned for the next one. Hopefully, there'll be some more news that we will be able to talk about. Hopefully, be some good news. You know, that'd be nice.
Doubtful.
All right. See ya.